Good evening. It's Wednesday, July 15th. It's 10:08 p.m. A little late. Was busy earlier. Some stuff I had to do. So let's see what the numbers are today for barometers. We have 234,000 new cases today and 5,700 deaths. The numbers are getting very unreliable, as I said before. The CDC is losing control of the count and is going to Washington, which people are saying will most likely affect transparency. USA is number one with 71,000 new cases. I think that's a new record. I don't remember if we had 70,000 before. Brazil second, 39,000. India third, 32,000. South Africa fourth, 12,000. In terms of deaths, Brazil has 1,261. USA has 997. Mexico 836. India 614. In the current numbers right now, Mexico, once again, with some high numbers. We'll see this build up throughout the day. Interesting enough, Kazakhstan has this supposedly new type of virus going on. So I'm not really sure how they're testing that. Now on to today's news. A lot going on again, a lot to talk about. The coming college sports apocalypse. So if I was to summarize this, the pandemic is affecting colleges when it comes to sports. And because of the pandemic, it's possible a lot of players will lose their athletic scholarships, and a lot of sports events are are being limited. It shows you the effects of the pandemic. It affects everything. Canned tuna has become popular in America due to SARS-2, but producers of the canned fish are dealing with higher prices and other challenges that are making it difficult to keep up with the increased demand. The product is available. It's just a matter of getting it into the U.S., Mr. Putman said. Our supply chain is strained. As South Florida grapples with being described as the new epicenter of the SARS-2 pandemic, it's also among the worst in the nation when it comes to its residents experiencing food insecurity and scarcity, according to Census Bureau data. Over 14% of South Florida's residents, about 1 in 7 households, reported sometimes or often not having enough to eat in the last 7 days. Last week, it ranked first in food insecurity. This week, it's second only to the Houston metro area. Now, there are places in the country that are well stocked. There are other areas in the country that are not so well stocked when it comes to food. But even if we have an abundance of food, what good does it make when families can't afford them and have to resort to begging or stealing or other things? A scary number of retail companies are facing bankruptcy amid the SARS-2 pandemic, and it's only just begun. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier. A whole list of names, just people. Actually, I might not have. I don't know if I did a video on that report. SARS-2 can live on surgical and N95 masks for up to 7 days. Due to shortages, some may be at risk of keeping contaminated masks for days, risking infection. Tesla has more than 130 employees who tested positive for SARS-2. A report. SARS-2 is rapidly spreading in Texas nursing homes, state figures show. Across Texas, nearly 1,000 new infections of nursing home residents were reported in the week ending last Friday, July 10th. And that is most likely an undercount. Deaths from the virus are also mounting. 1,173 nursing home residents have died in Texas so far. LA County sees highest number of SARS-2 hospitalizations ever at 2,193. There are also 44 new deaths and 2,758 new confirmed cases. Yeah, it's getting really bad here, but people are not being as alert or cautious as they were during the beginning. So people don't have the attention span to really see how serious this is. Oklahoma's Kevin Stitt becomes first governor to announce he's positive for SARS-2. Hospitals have been ordered to bypass the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and send all patient information to a central database in Washington, raising questions about transparency, as I was saying earlier. Alabama government Kay Ivey announced a statewide mask order beginning Thursday that will be in effect until July 31. Ireland delays further reopening, keeping bars closed and cases numbers grow. The 132nd Rose Parade has been canceled because of the ongoing SARS-2 pandemic, marking the first time in 75 years that the beloved and eagerly anticipated New Year's Day tradition won't be held. Most air conditioning systems don't protect against the SARS-2. In some cases, they can actually facilitate spread. The main way air conditioning can contribute to spreading SARS-2 is by creating strong air currents that can move the droplets and contribute to increased risk. Most air conditioning systems won't filter the virus out, and if it did filter it out, it probably went right by and right into your face first. Based on multiple studies done by the authors, we think that's one of the main ways it's transmitted. Now we knew this way back from the beginning when it was in Wuhan because of the what came out about restaurants and the virus circulating in the AC systems. I mean, just don't go out unless you have to go out. It's so easy to catch the virus. A lot of people are saying that they don't know how they got it. That's because they don't know how infectious it is and how the simplest mistakes can do it. Like my dad went to a restaurant to pick up some food, and he tried to go without a mask because he figured he's just gonna go pick up some food, and they didn't let him in, and he had to go and buy a mask. And I mean, I live with people who just feel like I want to scream at them sometimes. So I'm anticipating catching this anytime at this point. A San Diego gym owner said he is keeping his doors open despite state restrictions that just took effect. He said keeping his business open is a matter of survival. I took a huge financial hit in May. Money out of my pocket is never coming back. We have bills to pay. We have rent to pay. Now, if the country would help out and bail the small businesses rather than what they're doing now, which is bailing out the big business, the big corporations, we wouldn't have this issue. California hits record 11,000 daily cases amid SARS-2 surge. The number of positive cases has increased 47.2% in the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks mean. The Food and Drug Administration has added 3 more hand sanitizers to its rolling list of products recalled because of possible contamination with a toxic chemical. Over 65 of the cleaners have now tested positive for methanol, which can be poisonous if absorbed through the skin or ingested. According to the FDA, a majority of the products have been manufactured in Mexico. A public opinion study done in 11 countries for the International Air Transport Association and Airline Group the first week of June found that 65% of responders listed sitting next to someone who might be infected as the top concern for people on aircraft. Using the restroom was second. San Francisco in SARS-2 red zone freezes reopenings. Almost a third of Florida children tested positive for SARS-2. The state's outbreak continues to surge as new data reveals children may be more impacted than previously thought. They are seeing there is damage to the lungs in these asymptomatic children. We don't know how that is going to manifest a year from now or 2 years from now, Alonso told reporters. Is that child going to have a chronic pulmonary problem or not? So I've been down the rabbit hole. If humanity does not try to really contain this virus, it'll feel world ending to a lot of people. World ending. It's just people are now born with the virus. Little kids are having lung damage, and nobody knows how deep this goes at this point. Hawaii, a Pauhana gathering among construction workers, workplace training at Hawaiian Airlines, exercise and indoor gyms, birthday parties, barbecues, and other social gatherings are to blame for a surge in SARS-2 cases, particularly in Oahu. Now, if people don't want to listen and they catch it, at this point, you deserve what you get. It's obvious that you have to not do these type of things, and people just don't want to listen. Huge protests rock several countries such as Israel, Serbia, and Bulgaria as SARS-2 ignites rage against governments. The world will make China pay a price over the SARS-2 outbreak, Mike Pompeo says. The U.S. has hinted it would take steps to punish China for failing to prevent the deadly virus, which was first observed in the Chinese city of Wuhan, from spreading around the globe. Well, what about the U.S. government not taking it seriously from the start? Bunch of hypocrites trying to project. Oregon, we need football amid SARS-2 pandemic. Complete and utter foolishness. New York, 10 lifeguards at Long Island beaches test positive for SARS-2. Lifeguards are among the 102 positive SARS-2 cases that the county recorded on Tuesday. SARS-2. Skin rash can be only SARS-2 symptom and should be fourth key signal, study says. 3 skin conditions are each identified by researchers as potentially the sole indicator of the illness. at this point, almost anything's an illness because the virus attacks the entire body. So just anything, it feels nowadays like just anything's a symptom. But the potential impact of panic that can have, I would imagine, would be why uh, that skin rash is still not listed as a symptom. Florida, Walt Disney World fully reopened for business Wednesday, marketing the first time since mid-March. All theme park portions of the Florida resort were available to guests. Complete utter foolishness once again. I mean, Hong Kong opened Disneyland. They shut it back down, and and they tried to be really careful on how they were doing it. I'm sure that Florida did not try as much, so we should expect to hear back soon from Disney World in Florida. A Montana care home refused free tests. Now nearly everyone has SARS too. Yeah, so the pandemic's getting worse. It's not getting any better. Or I'm at, too many people are getting infected. More people are dying. People don't want to listen. No, nobody knows yet how this virus exactly works. It's gonna get really bad. I don't know if life will be able to come back to how it was. Maybe for at least another few years. But I have a really bad feeling about this entire thing. It's just so many bad things going on. But it's not that you should be scared. It's that you should just be cautious, learn what you can, and act accordingly, and do your best to survive. That's all you can really do at this point. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.